Here we are, socially isolated and socially isolating. And it feels sometimes as if like I actually live inside of this little box that I see myself in all the time and all the screens that I'm communicating with people in. And at the same time, it sometimes feels as if we're kind of reclaiming the use of the internet for its original purpose, which was to be connected, to get connected. And it's not so much now about just kind of scrolling mindlessly through Facebook and looking at all the other people who are doing all these things out there in the world, or reading about all the things that are happening out there in the world, but using the internet to come together in the intimacy of these little worlds that we live within in this moment. So it seems as if we're now coming toward an opportunity where we're using this kind of online connection to actually connect. And one of the things about social isolation, I certainly feel, is that it really gives me the value of my relationships. I notice how much I miss certain people, even if I can talk to them on a screen, how much I would love to hug them, or to have a cup of tea with them, or to play with them and experience that frivolity and that lightheartedness of just being together in a group. So now that we really know the preciousness of our relationships, there's a different way maybe of actually coming into relationship and bringing our awareness to the way that we're in relationship. And you might also have felt this, that when we're making connections like this on our Zoom calls, on our FaceTime calls, even in our phone calls, as we try to reach out across the physical distance, it's as if that question, how are you, has much more depth, and that we somehow have permission to answer that question with much more authenticity. So we can use the opportunity of coming together and really seeing one another in our little boxes on the screen, really hearing one another's voices, to really ask that question and to really say something that we mean, because now is a time for telling the truth. And it's also maybe a time in which we can pay attention to the way that we listen. Elsewhere, in the resources we share, we have some videos on one of the foundations that we call Listening Spaces, which talks about listening in a different way. And really that's listening not just to the words, not just to the information. And maybe people aren't recounting all the things that they've been doing. Maybe we're not so much in the mode of information swapping, because what do we really have in our lives but a lot of our internal world to share? So when we're listening, we could pay attention both to how it feels to listen. We could stay in touch with our own body, with our breath, with the way that the words land when we listen, so we don't abandon ourselves when we listen. And also really listen to others to hear what they're saying beneath the words, with a sense of how they really are. So in this time of a different kind of connection, we maybe have an opportunity for a different kind of relationship, and to really connect, and to connect across physical distance in a way that we maybe never had the opportunity to before.